What's good with y'all, boys? Welcome back to the episode of Rankai Everything Sports Podcast. Today I'm here to break down my NFL locks of the week. Now, as you can tell, my partner in crime is not here today. He's currently on a cruise for this week, so it's just going to be me this whole week. Sorry about that, but, the show must go on. Now, since I do have a little bit extra time since my partner is not here, I'm going to break down my bets from last week. I went 3-1 last week, pretty good week. It's going to make me 13. No, that's going to make me 13-12 for the season. So finally over that hump, back over 500. Love to see that. But and Ray also went 3-1. That's making him 15-10 for the season. So we're both over 500, both in the positive. So love to see that. Now to break down my bets from last week. Last week, my first lock I had the Steelers and -3 versus the Packers. That was a good game. I didn't watch that game because I was going to put myself through that pain. But the Steelers did end up covering. They were up the whole game, pretty much the whole game. It was a slight break where the Packers actually did take a 2017 lead. But I still felt very comfortable in that game the whole time. I didn't watch, like I said, but just keep up with the score. I felt comfortable about my -3, and that did hit. So love to see that. My second lock, I had the Raiders money line versus the Jets at -115. Listen, it all came down to betting against Zach Wilson, and it worked out in the end. Through a crucial pick that pretty much ended the game and allowed the Raiders to win that ball game. But I thought that was a pretty easy lock, and I'm glad I went with it. So 2-0 right there. My third lock was Adam Thielen, the Thursday night game, him going over 5.5 receptions at -130. Now that was a little bit of a struggle bus, considering that Carolina's team is just really bad, and Bryce Young is not quite as good as we thought he would be, but he did end up getting 6, so that did hit. And like I said, it doesn't matter how it hits as long as it does hit. And the one that missed, a really, really bad beat, Brandon Ayuk over 62.5 receiving yards. This guy had 40 receiving yards in the first 2 drives. The first 2 drives he had 40, and he ended with 55. So that was really tough. Once I saw the first 2 drives, I thought for sure that would hit. But that's the way it is. That's betting for you. But to go into my locks for this week, a great week, 3-1 last week. We're looking to go 3-0 this week. I have 3 great bets for y'all this week. For my first one, I'm taking Travis Kelce over 75.5 receiving yards at -113. Now, the biggest thing is Taylor Swift and her parents and all the Kelce's will be in the building. This is a big primetime game. Going to be the most hyped up game of the weekend, of the week. Monday Night Football, standalone game. And we know what Kelce does in standalone games. We know what Kelce does when T Swift's in the building. He's going to be even more juiced up. Andy Reid and them coming off a bye week. I'm loving that, and I'm loving the odds that I'm getting right here, too. Now, the Eagles' secondary is really not good. Some tight ends that played against them and did well. The first game against the Patriots, Hunter Henry had 56 yards. Against the Vikings, T.J. Hockenson had 66. Against the Commanders the first time, Logan Thomas had 41. And the second time they played, Logan Thomas had 44. And Jake Ferguson, most recently the Cowboys tight end, had 91 yards. Now, Travis Kelce is not your average tight end, so I think 75.5 will be a steal. I would throw a little bit of money on that anytime touchdown score as well, considering that, like I said, T Swift will be in the building. So I love Travis Kelce over 75.5 receiving yards. Now, for my second lock of the week, and I don't know how this line is low, but I'm taking the Dallas Cowboys -10 versus the Carolina Panthers at -110. Now, Carolina has lost 5 of their 9 games by 10 or more points, and this team is struggling, and they're terrible at 1-8 for the whole season. Bryce Young is known to turn the ball over. He had 2 pick sixes against the Colts just 2 weeks ago, and we know what this Cowboys defense brings to the table and what they do to bad teams. Beating up on the Giants twice, beating up on the Jets. That's not as good. That's not as bad as we thought they were. So that just proves what the Cowboys do. Destroying a Patriots team, beating a good Chargers team as well. So I think that this Cowboys team can cover, putting up 17 points, for sure, putting up 25 plus. So I love the Cowboys -10 versus the Carolina Panthers. Now, for my third bet of the week, I'm taking the Vikings +2.5 versus the Broncos at -110. Josh Dobbs has really given this team a whole new life. He came in, their backup one goes down, so now Josh Dobbs comes in. Against a good team and just brings them and wills them to victory. Josh Dobbs, he's really good. I don't know why the Browns let him go. That's now, as we know, it's coming to bite them in the butt. But Denver will be flying high after a good win against a mediocre Bills team, a very overhyped Bills team. But they'll be flying high off that win. They're playing at home. They'll be comfortable. And I think it's the perfect time for Josh Dobbs, Kevin O'Connell, their head coach, and the Vikings to come in and swoop a victory right from under their feet. I don't mind the Vikings money line in this game, but I'm not opposed to taking points when I can get them. So I love the Vikings plus 2.5 versus the Broncos. Now, for my fourth and final lock of the week, I'm taking the Los Angeles Chargers minus 2.5 versus the Green Bay Packers at minus 110. My whole reasoning for this really is I understand that they're going to be in Green Bay, but Jordan Love is not a great quarterback. He has an offensive head coach, which is good for him, but he's not their franchise quarterback. He's not near as good as we thought they were. Also, Aaron Jones is questionable. Their younger receivers in Christian Watson and Romeo Dobbs are not really, stepping up to the plate and taking the next leap like we thought they would. So I love the Chargers at minus 2.5. Also, the Chargers are pretty much in must-win mode. Considering that KC is pretty much locked up that one seed in their division, there's no room for error anymore for this team. So I expect them to throw everything they have at this Green Bay Packers team, and I think they'll try to blow them out in the early. So I love the Chargers at minus 2.5 at minus 110. Now, those are my bets of the week for the NFL Word. So y'all lock those in. I appreciate y'all watching as always. Tune in next time.